everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a full face tutorial using a new palette that I've had for a couple weeks now and just have never actually done a look with. And it's the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. It's got really fun packaging and it's an incredibly colorful palette. Let me just pull it out. So you get essentially a rainbow of colors with this palette and a really large mirror there. These are actually eyeshadow shades as well. Most of the shades in here are pretty matte. There are some like satiny finish, but there are no like outright metallics or outright just incredibly shimmery shades. There is another like version of this that's like Take Me Back to Brazil, but I don't think it's called the exact same thing, and it has a bit more of shimmery shades, but I was really excited to see this one. So I think that this is going to be really a fantastic palette. Like I said, I've had it for so long and I've just never done a look with it, so we might get a little crazy since there are some crazy colors in here. I want to say that the price was around $15 to $20, so not too bad as you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 35 eyeshadows because you get these 3 down here as well. And I'm excited to see how this turns out. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to go ahead and spray my skin with the Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, chamomile, and lavender. I've been really enjoying doing this lately. I don't necessarily know that I can say that it adds a lot, but it's kind of like a nice refreshing first step to starting my makeup. Then I'm going to put on some Aveeno Daily Moisturizing Lotion as my moisturizer today. And I'm just going to pop that all over my skin. Okay, for foundation, I'm going to use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop in the shade Light, and I'm going to rub this into my skin with a beauty blender. I'm starting off with just 1 pump, just because I feel like 2 pumps has actually been a little too much with this foundation, although now I'm definitely going to need a second pump, so... It's like 1 pump is not enough, 2 pumps is way too much, so 1.5 pumps. I just love this foundation. I feel like all of the foundations that I got in my birthday haul, I think I got like 4 foundations, I feel like they're all just fantastic. Great coverage. Now I had, heard reviews about all of them. It's not like I just went and was like, I'm gonna get 4 foundations today, and just like, I had no idea what I was walking out with. So I'm really, really impressed that, the reviews were so on point and I was able to apply that, and I'm just really excited about them. So I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape. I'm still kind of trying this out. Honestly, it's a bit thick, so I'm not 100% sure that I love that for a concealer. It's not like it's bad. It has fantastic coverage. This is a little bit more yellowy toned. I don't know if that's picking up in the camera, but it's definitely a little bit more yellowy toned. This is the shade Light Sand. I'm just going to blend that on in. But it's definitely a full coverage concealer, but it's just thick, and I don't know if I don't like that at this point. I don't know if it's just different than a lot of the concealers that I've tried. So I'm trying to just, test it out and give it a fair shot. I mean, y'all know, if you know anything about like beauty and the beauty community, like people went nuts over this concealer. So, it's got a lot to live up to. I have heard people say that it's thick in the past, like when reviewing it, but they still loved it. So, I don't know. I don't hate it. It's thick. But it definitely does a fan-frickin-tastic job at covering up any sort of dark circle. So, I mean, as far as that goes, like, it does a stellar job. So, no complaints on that end. Again, my skin isn't really, it's been very kind to me lately, so I haven't really had any breakouts or blemishes, so I haven't really been able to test it for that use, but hopefully, and I mean, I don't want my skin to break out or anything, if it does break out, hopefully this has the same amount of high coverage for a blemish as it does for my under eyes. Alright, gonna take my Rimmel Stay Matte and kind of just set my face everywhere with this, with an Ulta powder brush. This powder, like, I love it. I'm almost out of it, so I feel like that is a true, it says something when I've loved this powder so much to the point where within the last 2 months I've almost entirely used it, especially like a loose product. I don't know, I feel like in the past I've had a difficult time going through loose products, so I feel like that says a lot. Alright, for bronzer today, I'm going to use the new bronzer that I got from Wet n Wild that I just recently hauled. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in Bikini Contest, and it's a, I would say it's like got a little of a satin finish. It's not quite 100% matte, but it is matte enough to use it as a nice bronzer. It's very pigmented, so you don't need a heavy hand. And I'm just going to use, this is an e.l.f. Complexion brush that I'm using. And I love how big it is. Like, I don't know if that's like just a silly thing to actually be enjoying, but I just really enjoy the size of it. Means I'll probably never run out of it, but digging it. This is actually the second time I'm putting on my makeup today because I put it on this morning and then I was like, maybe shouldn't have, because I went and trained with my lovely trainer, and then I went to Title Boxing and trained there, and I left my trainer's house, and at one point, like I'm dripping sweat when I'm training with her, like no lie, but at one point well, not really while I was there, but after I get to my car, I look in the mirror and I can just see like where I had rubbed my like inner corner of my eye, like the makeup was just like essentially dripping down, and I was like, okay, thank you for the heads up that I look like a freaking clown. But like, how awkward is it to tell someone, hey, you're looking a little ugly, or like, you got a little something. So I don't know, I just thought it was super funny. I wanted to like text her and just be like, why didn't you tell me? Okay, for blush today, I'm just going to be using my Lychee and Gold Healthy Glow Rose Gold Blush from Seraphine Botanicals. I have been loving this blush. It's like a rose gold shade, and it's just so soft and so sweet on the skin. Like, oh gosh, I just love it. It's got like a hint of shimmer. I'm going to use my Luxie Precision Foundation Brush. Again, why is this a foundation brush? Like, it's not. It's not. And I just like to smile when I put this on because it's going on the apples of my cheeks, so those are most easily distinguished when you're smiling. So when I smile, right there, that's where most of my blush goes, and I just kind of pull it back a little bit, but not to where it looks like I got punched in the face. So yeah. Alright, for highlight today, I'm actually going to go into my Makeup Revolution Pro HD Amplified palette, and I'm going to use, let's use this Shine shade right down here. I feel like I haven't been giving this palette the attention it so badly needs, so I'm kind of trying to get back into it. It's just, I'm so close to being done with the balm highlight. Like, the pan actually fell out of the packaging because it's like, okay, you're done with me, but I'm not. So I'm so close, and I've been trying to use it up, but these are all like really nicely pigmented. There's a fantastic highlight that comes from them, but I don't know. It's just, I haven't been reaching for it, and I think it's also because like it's over here instead of like right here in my makeup area, so I don't know. I'm just lazy. I'm gonna prime my eyes with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. Alright, so we're just going to jump right in. This palette, as you can kind of tell, doesn't have any sort of like transition shades, so the closest one is probably this one right here, so I'm just going to use it because I don't really want to use anything but this palette today. So I'm just going to take a fluffy blending brush, I'm actually going to take this one, and just focus this in the crease just to kind of start out. It's definitely very pigmented. like I said, not use this palette, so this could go a myriad of ways. It's maybe a little bit darker of a transition shade than I would normally be using. Normally I would use like a matte light brown, but like I said, you know, this palette, it's fantastic in the way of colored shades, very shimmery, or I'm sorry, not shimmery, very pigmented, vibrant shades, but not fantastic if you are someone that is looking for neutrals. So the brush that I'm using is just from Wet n Wild, and I gotta say, Wet n Wild brushes are really nice. I also was using a Wet n Wild brush for my highlight, and I really do enjoy them. They're very soft, and they're super inexpensive, and I just love brushes. I don't really know where this look is going today. Let's see. Okay, so I think to start I'm going to use a mixture of this yellow and this yellow, and I'm going to focus them on the inner third of my eyelid. I think I'm gonna go for like a sunset style look. Yellows are really, really difficult for like to get pigmented, so this will be like a big test because yellows are just, I mean, they're hard for brands. So let me zoom you guys in a little bit closer. I feel like you can see more of what I'm doing. Xander, when I had the one video where I zoomed in previously, he was like, I don't know if I like you being that close, but personally I like seeing a little bit more of what is happening versus having it happen far away. I know that you can't see me talking, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen oh gosh, Home Improvement with Tim Allen, but how the neighbor, like, this is all you can see, you never like see his mouth moving. That's who I am! So this is definitely very pigmented. I'm enjoying it, and I'm just mixing the two shades, and I'm just kind of mixing them back and forth and just adding more and more a little at a time until I get to the color that I'm really going for. As I've said before, it's a lot easier to build up to the color that you're looking for versus, you know, starting with way too much and then coming back down and toning it down a little bit, so. Okay. Now on a different flat shader brush, I'm going to go in with a more pinky shade. Let's see here. I'm probably going to use this one and maybe like these two, maybe a mixture. I'm just going to use the more like fuchsia-y pink colors, and I'm going to put those on the outer half of the lid. Now, if you had used like a colored base, like a white, like NYX eyeshadow, jumbo eyeshadow pencil in like milk, these might be a bit more vibrant. Obviously, I would recommend using a primer because these shades are very vibrant, and that's just going to be the best way that you're going to have them stay on as the day progresses. But if you use like a colored base, these are even going to pop more. So I just, like, this is fine for me. I think these are showing up really, really well, even for just being on top of an eyeshadow primer instead of a full-on colored base. And I don't really think that there's like no fallout so far, so that's fantastic as well. Just kind of rubbing over where the two colors meet, just to kind of create a little bit more gradient. Oh, that looks so nice. I don't know if you guys, wow, that's so pretty. Okay, going back into the brush, where did it go? Oh, there it is, that I used with the yellow, and I'm just gonna go over the two shades, but wowza, I'm really liking this. Wow, it's so pretty. That sounds so conceited, but like, I just think it's really pretty. And I think the two shades are blending into each other so nicely. Ooh, love it! Okay, with a another blending brush, I'm just gonna go into this shade right here. It's like a more orangey tone shade, but it's not like a bright orange. I may actually end up mixing this one and this one to kind of brighten it up a little bit. I don't want super bright, but I also don't want dark. You know, I'm going for the sunset eyes. So I'm just taking a fluffy blending brush, and this is going in the crease. This is really pretty. These colors are very nice. I'm really enjoying them. They are easy to blend too. And that is really nice for such an inexpensive palette. What this palette like immediately reminded me of when I saw it was, I don't know if you guys will remember this, but years and years ago, Coastal Scents had these 88 pan palettes, and that was like what you needed if you were a beauty guru. Like, you had to have at least the Coastal Scents 88, I want to say it was like the 88 matte palette and the 88 shimmer. So it was like 88 shades, obviously, of all matte eyeshadows, and then literally the exact same eyeshadows, but then all shimmery. I had both. I think I actually hit pan on a few of them. They weren't like super large, but definitely big enough. But that's what this palette reminded me of when I first saw it, just because it's so vibrant, and it just kind of struck a nostalgic chord. Okay. I definitely would tap off the excess on your brush, as I would recommend with essentially any eyeshadow, as there is some fallout, but I don't think it's anything unbearable or hard to manage at all. So I'm just going to go back into the pink and the yellow and just kind of make them a little bit more vibrant. Okay, next I am going to take this purpley shade right there, and I am going to take that with a little pencil brush. This is a Real Techniques pencil brush, and I am going to put that underneath on my lower lash line. Now, what you also could do if you're not like into introducing a totally new color at this point is you could make the same type of gradient happen on your lower lash line, to where you maybe start out with the orange in the outer third, go into the pink, and then fade into the yellow. So that's totally up to you guys. It's personal preference there. I just kind of love to incorporate as many colors as humanly possible, because I'm trying out this palette. I'm seeing if it's working. I want to tell you guys that, and I want to use as many shades as possible, but also I just love colorful eye looks. So I kind of just enjoy adding more and more colors versus keeping it somewhat wearable when you're doing a look like this. I'm really impressed with these guys. For my highlight on the inner corner and on the brow bone, I'm going to take this shade right here. Of the three, let's see, so if you look at it like this, you get a white here and a white here, and it is this white under the pinks. It's got a little bit more of a shimmer to it. Again, if you were to use NYX eyeshadow palette or eyeshadow in Milk as like a base for your inner corner highlight, I think that would be very pretty too. Okay, wowza, I'm really liking the way that this is turning out. Okay, for my waterline, I'm going to use the NYX eyeliner. This is a slide on, glide on, stay on, and definitely a turn on waterproof eyeliner in Purple Blaze, and this is just going on the lower and upper waterline. For the upper lash line, I'm just going to use my Wet n Wild Pro-Line Felt Tip Eyeliner pen, and this is just in black. For mascara, I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in my eyebrows as well with the Wet n Wild Retractable Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown. Alright, so I have mascara, brows on. I actually did apply some false lashes as well, so these are, I believe, Ardell 110 lashes. And then for lips, we are going to finish with the Revlon Color Burst Matte Balm in the shade Showy. Gosh, that was small print. I'm getting old. I do really enjoy these. I've been wearing them as the week has progressed. I really think that they do last a while. You will need to reapply them as the day progresses, but I think for the most part the staying power is really solid. I also think that they smell very minty, but not, they don't have like a plumping effect to them. They don't tingle on your lips or anything, but they do smell minty, which I think is kind of nice, because so often you get, you know, lip products, if they're trying to make them smell like something, they're trying to make them smell like florally, or even like there's L'Oreal chocolatey ones, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think having it smell a little minty is a bit refreshing to me. I'm going to finish off with some Urban Decay all-nighter setting spray, and that'll be that. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I also wanted to let you guys know that I actually created an Instagram. The handle is RuthieRoo322, so if you're interested, go over to Insta and check it out. Make sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave to stay up to date on all of my latest content, and I will see you guys next time.